Hello, I am Tiara Reed, the owner of Inspire, Engage, and Educate, and I'm super excited to bring to you my mini course specifically for parents and students affected by COVID 19, and it is called Parent Pedagogy 911. Now, I am an educator that has worked with schools, teachers, and students for the past 18 years, and I want to share some of those strategies that I know will be beneficial in with helping you to transition into this new normal. So let's get started. Now, one of the huge things that I really suggest you implement with your child is, of course, time management. With any homeschool, I currently am homeschooling my child, and I've been doing that for about 2 years. And having a schedule is so important. You want to make sure in the schedule that you place about 2 to 4 academic hours. And you may say, Miss Reed, my child is typically at school for about 8 hours. Well, now with them being in a new environment and being at home, you want to transition them into having academic time at home by scaffolding. And that means by, of course, starting with maybe 2 hours and then transitioning depending on how old they are. And also, just as important as a schedule, you want to make sure there's either a daily or a weekly to do list. Now, depending on how old your child is, they're able to actually create this with you because you want them to have a sense of accomplishment. As they complete things, you either check or you scratch it off. You will be shocked at how important this is for your child to have to know that they've completed something. Also, on for a parent, it is really important for you to go back and take time to make sure that your child did their work, you looked over it, and this is really important for accountability because if you don't do this, they will not see the importance of them completing their work because their teacher isn't there, but you're there. So you want to make sure that they know that they are held accountable to do their very best and that they need to stay focused. Now, with the environment, that homeschool classroom environment, here's some tips. Within your house, you want to survey and find a quiet space that your child can complete the work that the teacher sent them via email, uh, Google Classroom, Zoom, Remind, Dojo, however you're getting work, even if they're going to the school picking up packets, you want to make sure when they're at home, they have that quiet space. Also, any distraction, it can be the family pet, it can be a younger sibling. You want to make sure that they're removed during this school time. Also, let's be honest, they're at home. They see the refrigerator, they see the bathroom. They want to get up and move as they please because they've been doing this. But you want to be very intentional with implementing 15 to 30-minute breaks so that they can do this if they need to. Also, when I think about providing an environment that is conducive to a child's learning, it is very important that you also consider outside. When you go on those nature walks through the neighborhood, going outside, there are always different connections that you can make with the assignments that their teachers have sent and what they're learning. So be sure to do that. Even if they're doing jump rope or playing with chalk, there are ways that you can remind them maybe about math, having them count. Depending on how old your child is, there is still a way to connect a real world experience. Even with you going to the grocery store and having a budget, we want to make sure that our children are using this time, every one of them, that they're using this time to grow as a learner and to be able to use this as a time to really make that real world connection and minimize the noise in the learning area, especially if they're doing their independent reading time or taking an assessment. The third thing is behavior management. As a parent, I'll be absolutely honest with you. I know how to discipline my child, but then I also have to be very conscious about how I handle the behavior management during school, because as the teacher or as that parent with this great pedagogy that you're learning right now, you want to ensure that you are placing incentives into the environment. It can be stickers, it can be free time, making sure that they know at the end of the week, if you do all your assignments, we get to do this or we get to do that, or maybe it can be daily. This is a very new idea for many students to learn at home and to be at home all day with learning, and everything else is happening in the same environment. So you want to also bring in those things from school that they're accustomed to. And having a reward system is what many teachers use to maintain great behavior. You also want to ensure that you're reminding them. And that goes back to that slide that we talked about, that accountability, you checking their work. They have to complete their assignments every day. And you can check that off, and that can be on their checklist as well. And they have to work hard and make sure that they do a good job. Yes, they're in a different environment, but the your expectation does not change, whether you're the teacher or their previous teacher, which actually is still their teacher. And that moves me to my last point. Contact your scholars teacher if you need support. And to be honest, I would suggest that you make a weekly schedule that you check in with the teacher. It can be every Monday, you send an email, every Thursday, or whatever day that you think is conducive to your schedule. Check in, make sure that you ask questions of that teacher. Many of the teachers, they will be using Zoom, they will be using Google Classroom, where they could see their scholars and have that morning meeting. But there will be opportunities or experiences that some students don't see their teachers. So you have to keep that teacher involved. As the parent, make sure that you do that. That is extremely important. Put it on your calendar weekly to check in. Also, a lot of students have time at home where they may be playing a video game or playing outside. You also want to make sure that they know reading independently 30 minutes to an hour is just as important, because typically if a child reads something that they're interested in, they will read a book that's a little bit more difficult with their lexile, and you want to encourage them to read as much as possible. And the school typically sends websites, and you can go onto their website, see if they put anything for parents to click on. Also, during that weekly check-in, going back to you communicating with the teacher, ask the teacher, are there websites that my child and I should use? Also, if your child has a Google Classroom, there are resources inside that Google Classroom. Be sure to check in with your child, check in with the teacher, and you will for sure have a great experience. And last but not least, I am Tiara Reed. If you want to know anything else, or if you need more support, I would love you to go to my website, inspireengageeducate.com, and contact me. And I look forward to you and your child having an amazing transition into homeschool. Have a great day.